What is CP?
For an absolute beginner, pick a language, start learning how inputs and outputs work, how loops work, then how go to statement works. Then learn about the standard template library in that specific language.
Looking back at your journey, what was the toughest coding challenge or problem that made you doubt yourself? How do you handle pressure during live contest or coding interview? What is consistency for you and how did you maintain this for so many days?
AI will never, at least in the near future, be better than humans in coding. At least in the near future.
I told all the audience that we are going to get to know about the mind of a competitive programmer. Right? So, if this question is asked to you, like how do you work? How is your mind working? So, what will you answer? In 2 or 3 sentences? How has CP changed your life? I'm not talking about programming, but in general, how has CP changed your life? Welcome to the Eagle View podcast. Today, our topic is the one which has made many careers. We have Lokesh C, who is today going to talk about competitive programming. He has solved more than 900 plus problems and is the top 0.1% user of LeetCode. If you want to know anything about competitive programming, this is the podcast for you. Also, if you want to know anything about competitive programming or you want to know about the mindset of a competitive programmer, this podcast is for you. At any given time, if you think that our podcast is giving you practical value, then please subscribe to our channel. This helps us to make credibility, and this credibility helps us bring industrial experts and subject experts to our podcast. Lokesh, let's start with a simple question. What is CP?
CP is competitive programming where one person will be given a task and they'll be judged on how fast they're able to solve a problem, and there will be penalties if you solve it in the wrong way.
And why should a beginner, start CP?
A person would benefit with CP. He would learn a lot of things like problem solving, and he will learn the way of coding. Like implementation skills will increase, and ad hoc skills will increase. So they'll become a better problem solver.
Can you share your CP journey? Like, how did it start? Did it start when you came to college or did it start before college?
When I came to college, I didn't know what programming was. I used to think it was by hearting for loops. I had a set of 12 questions in 11th and 12th standard where I used to by heart how to find the frequency of an element, how to find if an element exists in an array or not, and how to find sum of some n numbers or find the second maximum element. Then I used to think these are all pre-written codes and one should write it in the same way. And then first sem came Python. We had Python, and the questions are not that obvious. So after that, I realized maybe programming is not completely by hearting, and you need to know the concept of syntax and then write the code of what you're trying to solve. Like if you're understanding what I'm trying to say.
What happened after that?
Then I started CodeChef because that time CodeChef was the most intuitive platform. Code Forces and LeetCode was very complicated. Then I started CodeChef. I gave 2-3 contests. No, I gave 7-8 contests and I became 2-star. Then what happened is CodeChef had a what is it called? Server maintenance breakdown or something. That's why I stopped CP for 2 weeks. Then CodeChef came back, but I didn't come back. So I stopped showing up. Then again, after second year, half got over or something. Again, I restarted CP. I started with LeetCode, Code Forces, and CodeChef. I'm doing that continuously.
Okay, so like what motivated you to do a lead code? Like, are you doing all the three at the same time or like how is it for?
No, I do all the three at the same time itself. Like I give all the contests. I maintain a streak only on LeetCode. The main thing that motivates me is actually I actually enjoy solving problems. So I don't have any like issues with keeping like maybe it's like if I don't do it, I feel like I'm not doing anything in the day. So
So basically, it has become your hobby.
kind of yeah.
Moving towards the second segment, we want to talk about the roadmap. Okay, so there are going to be three kind of people who are watching this video. One who is a beginner who has just started, like trying codes and all those things. One who is an intermediate level, like he has done 50, 60 codes. Maybe he has started doing LeetCode, Code Chef, and all those things. And the third category, who has done till your like level, like he has done 900 plus problems and like that he is doing now. So and he's also preparing for placements. So what will you advise him? And please like structurally explain it. What should be the roadmap?
For an absolute beginner, pick a language, start learning how inputs and outputs work, how loops work, and how go to statement works. Then learn about the standard template library in that specific language. In CPP, you have STL. Like that, you have collection framework in Java, and I'm pretty sure other languages will be having their own frameworks. So understand how they work, then practice very basic problems and get the hang of it. And then slowly start moving to the platforms like CodeChef, LeetCode, and Codeforces. And then for the second category of people who actually know how a language works and have solved approximately 60-70 problems, I would recommend them to follow a CP sheet, something like CP31 by TLE Eliminators, or the Strive. That I don't recommend, or recommend and you do CP31 sheet and the Strivers A to Z sheet, and then there are more things that like the A to OJ 11 ladders of code forces, but it's too old for the present day. These two are very updated. And then I would say go topic wise, learn a topic, try solving 10-15 problems. Don't get afraid of solving harder problems. They seem harder in the starting. As time progresses, they become easy. And for people who are like me, who have solved like lots of problems, most best advice is don't stop. That's it. If you're continuing what you're doing, you'll do great. And maybe just try increasing the frequency, because if you're in third year, or it's almost getting over, college is almost getting over, so try the best you can.
So, like, you just told about Stiver's DSA shit.
Hmm.
I would like to know for interview prep, specifically for interview prep, is Stiver's DSA shit good or NetCode or both? What do you recommend?
Strivers DSA sheet it consists of lead code questions also. So I would say blind. It's better to do a Strivers lead code sheet than blind lead code, because blind lead code, you never know. You might solve 200 bit manipulation questions and you don't know what's the graph. You might solve 500 easy questions and not realize there's something called what segmentary or something. So it's always better if you see something in a formatted way, so that you come across all type of topics.
When you actually face a problem while solving the
Hmm.
problem, so now till now you have solved more than 1,000 problems. So when you get stuck at a problem, what do you really do? Like, do you go to YouTube or any other documentation, go there, see the like content over there, and afterwards come back, solve problem? What do you really do?
So basically, there are like 2 3 types of stages of getting stuck at a problem. One is like a bug. Most probably a bug, you can find it, or if you give it to ChatGPT or something, it can debug it. Like, let's say you have written A equal to J, if A equal to J instead of A double equal to J. That type of bugs ChatGPT is finding out, so not an issue. Next thing, logical errors, very hard to find out. So you need to run through you should do a dry run of the test cases. Even if that's not working, then you need to maybe try doing stress testing. So whenever you're trying out a problem, if it's out of context, you have access to the solution also. So what you can do is you can run your code against the correct code with random test cases, such that it will fail at some place. So you will get to know where your code is failing. If all this is not too complicated, always find friends who can help you out. We have a group called Contest Discussions. People like Vedang, Gressel, we all discuss about where if we're stuck at some problem, we always discuss it together. So finding a friends group is also very important in this. Hmm.
So Lokesh, can you practically solve a simple problem so that we understand your mental state while doing the problem?
Sure, sure. So basically, in this question, you're given a prices array, and you can buy shares at the ith day by for the cost of prices of I, and you can sell it another time with prices of j, and we are asked to find what is the maximum profit that we can achieve. But the most basic intuition that one person gets is you can try it for all possibilities. So a person that hasn't solved a lot of problems would try doing this. So he would say he would initialize res equal to 0, and for int I equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus, for int j equal to I plus 1, j less than n, j plus plus, res equal to max of res, comma, prices minus prices of I in res. So you might say, what's the issue with this? The problem is the size of the array can go till 1e5. That means when it's an n-square algorithm, 1e5 will lead to 1e10 operations, and most of the online judges have a limit of 1 second, and 1 second means you're allowed to do 1e9 operations. So this is 10 times worse than what is allowed. What you can do is you can always find what is the greatest element on the right side and pre-calculate it, and find what is the best possible answer if you buy it on the ith day. So what we do is we find a suffix maximum. We declare it as comma 0, ss of n minus 1 equal to prices of for int I equal to n minus 2, I greater than minus 1, I plus I minus 1 as ss of I equal to max of ss of I, comma, sorry, prices of I, comma, s ss of I plus 1, and for every index we can just do it in O of 1 operation, is equal to max of s, comma, s of I minus prices of I.
Okay.
Did you understand my line of thought?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, guys, did you see this? Like, at first, his code was not accepted, right? But what did he
Yeah,
do? He did not leave it. He did not quit. He did it again.
yeah.
So now, guys, we have a game segment. So basically, Lokesh, I will ask some questions to you. There will be four options, and you have to choose that. And let's play this game. Okay? Yeah. So the first question is, looking back at your journey, what was the toughest coding challenge or problem that made you doubt yourself? And how did you overcome it? So first, what was the challenge?
Challenge in this sense, any specific problem.
Yeah, while solving the problems, or like in your journey, in a coding journey.
Maybe in the starting almost every problem felt hard. Like graphs were really hard when I started. Then graphs are easy now, and segment trees are slightly hard, and they're still hard for me. Like basic implementations I can do, but if they're asking something really complicated, I still struggle. And then maybe some advanced data structures like no, actually these days I'm struggling with greedy problems itself. The past two code forces contests, the D problem was greedy, but I couldn't solve them.
Okay, so the next question, it's the same question, but for which you will get four options is how are you overcoming it? First option, by taking a break and revisiting later. Second option, by discussing with peers or mentors. Option C, by watching tutorials and learning new approaches. Fourth, by trying brute force until something worked. Or fifth option, which
Except brute
you
force,
want.
everything. You have to talk with your peers. Then after you have to come back after some time, and you have to look at the tutorials.
Okay, alright. So A, B, C. Alright. Let's go to the second question. If
Mm-hmm.
you could go back to your beginner days, okay,
Mm.
what one piece of advice would you give yourself about programming? Option
It will get
A,
easier.
yeah, yeah. Option A, focus on consistency over speed. Option B, don't chase shortcuts, master the basics. Option C, participate in contest without fear of ranking. And option 4, building projects alongside problem solving.
Yeah, building projects alongside competitive programming. Then also don't fear losing your rank. It barely matters because maybe four contests go bad. You have learned a lot. The fifth contest you will perform better. You can't consistently perform bad. So downfalls and nosedives are fine. You'll again come back.
Let's move toward the third question. What has been your proudest moment in your programming journey so far? A. Achieving top rank in contest. Option B. Helping someone else learn and grow. Option C. Building a project that solved a real problem. Or option D. Anything which you choose. Like,
Helping others is fun, like to be honest. Helping others is fun, and even getting good ranks in contests also is fun. And I haven't built anything that really helped people because the project that I have built is kind of a gimmick. No one needs a Enigma mission simulator. I just made it for fun. The Reed Solomon codes are already implemented in C, some other languages. I have just implemented my own version of it using FFT and Lagrangian polynomial interpolation. So they would be just faster, but I don't think so. They bring any groundbreaking or change into anyone's life. But it's just a one is completely gimmick project, and the second one is slight optimization. So I don't think so. I've bought any real life change in anything.
so you told that helping someone is also,
Hmm.
you are proud of that.
Mm-hmm.
So can you, like, before also you were telling about, like peers, if we have a good set of friends with us, if we can discuss with them, then, like our coding journey will become easier. We will grow together like that. So can you talk more about this?
So basically, we should always try to do things in a group because you might be struggling with something and your friend would have already struggled in that. So you don't need to go through that struggle again. So it would save everyone's time. Like maybe I'm good at game theory, my friend's good at bit manipulation, one guy's good at greedy. So if that guy is getting doubts in game theory and I've already spent like 8 hours, maybe I can help him out in 1 hour itself and he would get the same amount of knowledge. So always having a peer group who's like-minded is very important. And it will also boost the this thing, what is that called? The sportsmanship. Like we compete with each other, so we'll get better every day.
Okay, can you tell me how to get this peer? Okay, so basically, I know that we are in a good college, in a good university, so we can have that kind of peer groups. But
Hmm.
what if someone is not in, like in that good college or university? So how can they approach these people? Are there any platforms to find these people?
I mean, there are Discord groups and Telegram groups, but it's actually very, very hard because if you have never met the person in real life, you might talk to him once or twice. You never know if they'll connect or not. But if you're meeting people on day-to-day basis, it's always easier to make friendships. So if you're in a bad college, I know it's really hard, but for us, we are well off.
All right. Let's move to the fourth question. When you hit burnout or
Hmm.
lose motivation, what helps you to get back on your track? Option A, break and disconnecting. Okay, so you take break and you disconnect. Option B, revisiting your goals. Option C, talking to friends or mentors. Option 4, switching to a different kind of challenge or like giving a contest or like learning something different. So yeah, what do you choose?
Yeah, I do the third part. Like I try to do some other challenges. Like I try to solve puzzles or I go to YouTube on you can. There's something called TED riddles and mind your decisions, seemingly impossible problems. So they are real interesting. So if I'm stuck on some lead code forces kind of problems and I'm not interested to think algorithmically, or maybe my ad hoc skills are not up to the mark sometimes. So then I try to solve those puzzles. In general, I like puzzles. I mean, puzzles, problems, and these algorithms. So I continue with them itself. But if I'm completely burned out, maybe for a day or two, I just do the street questions and I'll end it for the day.
All right. Fifth question is, how do you handle pressure during live contest or coding interview? See, this question is coming from a mind state where like when we have no test, when we have no contest going on, we can solve questions. But sometimes what happens that when we are in a test or in a contest or somewhere where we are going to be judged, Like at that time, many people don't perform that well. This question
I
is coming
understand.
from there.
Mhm. So basically, there are things like you're just starting with the contest. So first, second, third, or fourth, first 10 contests might feel like I'm getting judged by the performance and all that type of things. But I have given like approximately 140 contests or something. So I never get that feeling at all. It's just like a normal thing. So after you have given 10 or 11 or 12 contests, it stops mattering. Like it almost becomes like you're giving a normal problem solving session and under a timed manner. That's it. So as time progresses, it will get better.
So do you revise anything before giving those contests?
No, there's no chance that you can revise every time. Like I just gulp food before 8 o'clock. I run to the room and I start giving contest at 8. So contests, nah, because there's nothing that you can revise in 1 hour that you can't just what that you would not remember after giving like
Correct.
so many contests.
In a week, how many contests do you give?
In general, I give anywhere between 2 to 6, maybe max 6. 2 is minimum.
Okay, so which platforms do you recommend? LeetCode.
LeetCode, Code Forces, Code Chef. If this three also are you're doing all these three and still you have time, give at coder also.
Let's move to the fourth segment. Gaming segment is over now. So I was seeing your post on LinkedIn. I literally saw it. Like it was 900 plus problems, and you are like in the top 0.1% lead code user, right? Obviously, it all comes towards consistency, right? Simple question: what is consistency for you, and how did you maintain this for so many days?
To be honest, in the first 20, 30 days, it was really hard. It's not like it's really hard. It's more like it's not part of my daily routine. So actually, you can see my graphs and my daily streak before. It used to be continuously there for 2 days, then no streak for 4 days. Then again, it used to be there for 7 days, then no streak for 2 or 3 days. Then after that, now I have a streak of 360 days or something. So once you start giving it and you confirm to yourself that I have to do it, yeah, you can do it.
All right. So now I would like you to tell about AI. I know it's a weird question, but like competitive programming and AI, how is it related? Because DeepSeek just came, right? DeepSeek R1 model just came, and like it had created a hype. So is it like AI? Is it taking over competitive coders? This is the
Well,
first question.
okay. So there are already chess engines that perform better than the world's best chess players. Is it disrupting the chess industry? I don't think so.
Yeah.
In the same way, AI is like I know and understand the amount of power a person is having with AI. But the thing is, it obviously elevates the cheating people do, and it is distasteful. We can't do anything about it. Maybe if people start becoming more honest, only that's the thing we can do because there were already Telegram channels which used to post CP answers for money. So this is not changing anything. People who want to cheat will cheat. People who want to give the contest honestly will give honestly. Maybe the difference is people are not supposed to even pay for cheating. That's the only difference. But cheaters will cheat, and people who don't want to cheat will not cheat. And AI will never, at least in the near future, be better than humans in coding. At least in the near future. Because yesterday I had a contest that I conducted, the Hacksing event, and I had made two questions: full access to internet, full access to GPTs, whatever GPTs you want, 1 hour time. No one solved, not even a single question. Yeah. So, and the questions are not that hard. They are pretty simple. So, if the questions are anything novel, anything that uses a new idea, they never do it. So even the questions that I asked in the yesterday's contest, they were standard results that were just twisted in slight of flavor. Like I just started a Harry Potter theme, then I just put 2, 3 twists to the question. GPTs couldn't solve it. R1 couldn't solve it. O3 Mini couldn't solve it. Grok couldn't solve it. It's just hype. You remember when Devin came, everyone were like software engineers are replaced, and Devin still hires software engineers.
Correct.
Yeah.
All right. You told about the dark side of AI, right?
Hmm.
But there is going to be a positive side as well.
Obviously.
How do you use AI for competitive programming?
So basically, whenever I'm stuck at a problem, I like maybe if there's a bug or something, I obviously put it to ChatGPT. I'm too lazy to debug my code. I don't recommend it. At least once in a week, don't use any AI models or any LLMs. Do coding purely, like no what help from LLMs, because there's a very famous YouTube channel named Prime something. He's a very well experienced coder. He's been coding from like 15, 20 years or something, and he has very good industry experience. Sad part is because of AI, he forgot how to write for loop. He's like for, and he's like, I'm not using AI anymore. Like at least once a week, I'll not use AI. That's the thing. Like it's making humans dumber. If people rely on it completely, no way. Yeah, AI will replace you. Then yeah, if you never try to think on your own, AI will replace you.
So, Lokesh, I told all the audience that we are going to get to know about the mind of a competitive programmer, right?
Okay.
So, if this question is asked to you,
Mm-hmm.
like, how do you work? How is your mind working? So, what will you answer in 2 or 3 sentences?
It's a very complicated question because no one understands how your mind works. If they did, they would try to replicate it, and AI would have been already better than us. The thing is, maybe I look at problems with kind of gratitude. I guess I like solving them, so I don't look at them with I don't look at them with fear. I look at them with a challenge, and I look at them with an intention of solving them. Not and I It's very complicated. How do I explain it? I'm stumped by the question. I don't know.
So, like, this question is also an important question, kind of. Okay, so you're doing college work, so college academics are there, placements are also coming. Then how are you able to handle your, hobby, which is competitive program?
Honestly speaking, college work doesn't take time if we really think about it. It barely takes 5 minutes a day. Like I don't study anytime before exams, and all the assignments, you know how we do it. And other things, I go to the gym. Then my daily routine is almost like classes, then one and a half hour gym, then CP for 2.5 hours, and I still have 4 hours with me, so I can do whatever I want. So basically, time is there in our hands. Well, it's up to us if we use it to the potential we want it or not.
How has CP changed your life? I'm not talking about programming,
Hmm.
but in general, how has CP changed your life perspective? And not only about that, how has
Hmm.
it changed your life?
Maybe it's far-fetched, but you can, if you do see for a long time, you can look at things and you can find edge cases kind of things like maybe this thing can fail at this type of position. This thing will work only under this constraints. These are the CP terms, constraints, edge cases, and maybe this should work only under the circumstances, and maybe this will take too long of a time to run. So like time complexity, yeah. So maybe those things. And since CP is completely of problem solving, you get new insights on other fields of studies also. Like one day I was just thinking about trigonometry, and I'm like, trigonometry is just similar triangles, and those ratios are similar triangle ratios for the specific 90-degree. Like, okay, nice. That's an interesting perspective on trigonometry. So the longer you solve problems, you get newer perspectives on the things that you've already known. And maybe like even like KCL, KVL, how does it work under changing magnetic fields? Like if EMF is generated in KVL or KCL, will it be still holding or will it stop working? Like you start questioning things, you start learning things from scratch. So I think CP helped me in that. Yeah.
For just a learner, what will you advise about competitive programming? Anything which you want to talk or tell about, CP?
So first thing, just start. There is no ultimate roadmap. You have to find your own roadmap and pick a language that you like, that you are comfortable with. and then just start solving. It's as simple as that. Because I've seen grandmasters, international grandmasters, legendary grandmasters. All of them have only a single advice: practice, practice, practice. So if you're stuck at something, find a peer group, discuss. Don't bang your wall and try to reinvent the wheel. Most probably, if you're stuck for a long time, you don't know how it works. You don't know what the algorithm is. People have spent hundreds of years finding those algorithms. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. Just Google it. If you're still stuck on it, read the editorial line by line. If you're still stuck on it, see the implementation. If you're still stuck on it, use GPT, give the editorial, ask it to break it down into smaller parts, then discuss it with your friends.
Lokesh, this is the last question, alright? The question is that, Lokesh, you have to frame a question which I will ask the new guest which comes on the podcast. So yeah, it can be anything, but just know that the person who will come now can be of any field.
Any field.
You can take time.
Okay. I would say, why are you doing this podcast?
All yeah.
That's a good question, right? Because that's the most general question that I can come with because you haven't given any topic.
How was the podcast, guys? Thank you for watching the whole podcast. Do let me know which topic we should cover next. If you have any guest recommendation, you can comment down. We will try to bring them on in our podcast. So till the next podcast, bye bye, guys.